Okay.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest here. His resume is so deep that I says I will only have 5 minutes. I'm not going to get into it.
You don't got time for me.
But I'm here with Harry Shearer. He is an actor, a writer, author, Emmy Award winner, Grammy Award winner, and he's done so much, Harry. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. I have to say, Grammy nominee, Emmy winner, Oscar Mayer.
Oh, man. Well, you know, so many things you did, man. You know, I got to say, congratulations, and you're getting awarded tonight. This is a really big, it's a big thing. But you're used to big things anyway, so I see you're very relaxed, right?
I'm okay, yeah. You always get nervous.
So you were born in Los Angeles originally?
Born in Los Angeles originally. That's the only way to be born is originally, but
right.
yeah.
Right.
The best way at least. And now living in New Orleans mainly.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh great.
Little bit in London and New Orleans.
Well, we miss you in New York.
Thank you.
We were just talking about the beginnings of cable TV. C and D were free, and J you pay. You know.
I didn't pay for Jay, and I got it for free in my apartment. I don't know about you.
Yeah, you could. There were ways.
There were ways, yeah.
Right, but anyway, I'm sure we have a lot of friends in common. But you know, I can't. You know, speak with you and not ask about some of your films. And I want to tell you that the thing you're doing with the satellite feed TV. I think that's great. You know?
Oh, thank you. That's my little hobby, and I've basically done it in art circles. I've done what I like to use air quotes and call video art exhibitions. Had one in New York in 2008, and then it moved to a bunch of museums, including the Valencia Museum of Modern Art in Spain.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been cool, and it came out of my experience actually working in New York at NBC, where I was getting access to these feeds coming in, and noticing that if you looked at people on those feeds before they're getting ready to talk, before they talk, and even before they're getting ready, they're just sitting there behaving. And
that's the best stuff.
That's
right?
the best stuff.
Right.
And you know, when people are yakking at you, you're not really watching their behavior so much. But when they're not talking and they're just sitting there, you get to watch every little detail and it's very telling, and it's very just human behavior is interesting to me. So that's.
How about Harry actually worked with Jack Benny.
Yes,
no
I did.
Kidding.
Yes, I did.
A quick Jack Benny story.
My favorite story that I tell about working for Jack Benny was about the 9th or 10th time I worked on the show. He had a group of kids that he would sponsor. It was called the Beverly Hills Beavers. These were more innocent times. And we all did our version of the Jack Benny show. So kids were doing the characters on the show. And Sheldon Leonard, the great Sheldon Leonard, who later directed the Danny Thomas show, used to play this racetrack tout that hung out around Jack Benny and used to say, don't do that, do this. And so I was doing that voice. I'm 8 years old, and they hadn't written it in particular dialect, but I just interpolated a Brooklyn dialect into it for a line or two.
Wow.
And Benny, we were at the read-through, and Jack Benny was sitting at the end of the table down here, and when I did that, he just reared his head back and started slapping the table, cackling with laughter.
Oh, great.
And I thought, just give me more of this, man.
Wow.
Just give me another hit of this every once in a while. Jack Benny, making Jack Benny laugh at the
Fantastic.
age of 8. Yeah.
Can we expect any sequels of Spinal Tap?
No.
No.
No, we swore never.
But we can keep rerunning and rerunning.
You can keep rerunning it till the sprocket holes are torn, yeah.
Beautiful, Harry. Well, I know you got it. It's getting crazy here.
It is.
So I was lucky I had a few minutes with you. I want to thank you very much for your time. We're the Jon Hammond Show on all 3 cable networks in New York, and we're streaming all over the world.
Cool.
And podcasting. You're doing podcasting
I do podcast.
too now.
You got a podcast.
So how can we find this on the internet?
It's Le Show on iTunes, SoundCloud, Sideshow Network, and TuneIn.com.
Beautiful. Any one little thing you want to say in signing off here?
I'm going to quote one of my favorite lines from the movie: "Have a good time, all the time."
You're the best. Thanks a lot, Harry.
man.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right. Have a great night tonight.
Thanks.
We're going to see some fun things tonight. I think the last couple of years it's been given out to Chris Christopherson, Jim Lauderdale, Jim Halsey, Emmylou Harris, Vince Gill, Sherman Halsey. So some amazing people. Tonight we have Crystal Gayle, Harry Shearer, and Patti Smith. How's that? Okay, so that's what we're doing. Why are we doing this? Why are we in this wonderful thing called the music business? Why? Because we all had it here, the passion. Somewhere along the line, some of us in February 1964 saw the Beatles, some of us other bands, we were all struck by the passion for music, and then it became our life. And what we all share, and what we share with the National Music Council, is a vision. And this is the vision, right? This is the why we do what we do. We envision a world in which every child has an absolute desire to make their own music. And we envision a world in which every child has a recognized right to be taught. And finally, why we're here, we recognize that this world is where every adult, that's us, by the way, is a passionate defender of that right. That's why we're here, that's why we do what we do, and that's why I applaud you for what we do. Thank you. Grateful for you being here tonight. Have a great time. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2017 American Eagle Award honorees, Crystal Gayle, Patti Smith, and Harry Shearer. Found someone, and gonna make my brothers blue. I'll be fine when you go. I'll just cry all night long, singing it's untrue, and gonna make my brown eyes blue. Tell me no secrets, tell me some lies. Give me no reasons, give me alibis. Tell me you love me and don't let me cry. Say the thing, but don't say goodbye. I didn't mean to treat you bad. Didn't know just what I had, but honey, now I do. I know how to make my rise, I know how to make my rise, I know how to make my rise blue.
Harry is getting this award, though, not only for his musicianship, but also because he is, and we all know about this, he is a fierce advocate for artists' rights. And indeed, yes indeed. right, come on up and get your award, ladies and gentlemen, Harry Shearer. Harry, in recognition of your contributions to American and global musical culture as a writer, humorist, musician, composer, social commentator, and tireless advocate for the rights and fair treatment of music creators in the United States and throughout the world, Harry Shearer, this one's for you.
Thank you. Paul, they haven't had telegrams since 1994. Just a note. Well, Paul read from an iPhone. I'm of a later generation, so I'm reading from an iPad. Seriously, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I'm humbled to the point of absolute shame at being included among the recipients of this award, both tonight and going all the way back. I'm only able to stand before you tonight in grateful acceptance because I know that my friend Paul has been similarly humbled. And even better, I looked up the Music Council's list of award recipients, and as an added tribute, his, I believe, is the only name on the entire list that is misspelled. This can be dealt with later. My dad was trained as an operatic baritone in Vienna. Oddly enough, the woman who later became my wife and is here tonight, her dad was an operatic tenor for 30 years in London. So she grew up loving opera. Me, not so much. But anyway, for one basic reason. Just that. But music has been part of my life, all of my life. Piano lessons started for me when I was 4, as did the war between my teachers and me over whether I could learn pieces by ear or, as they insisted, be forced to read those little squiggles on the paper. My parents were actually forbidden to buy records of the pieces I studied. So it was always a relief to end up playing at a recital where I could actually hear what the concerto I was painstakingly slogging through actually sounded like. Some years later, I picked up the bass to play by ear with some lessons from the great bassist of Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Down low is where my ear always went as I listened to music to help me understand the harmonic structure, and equally important, the strings were bigger and fewer than those on the guitar. That choice led inexorably to being part of one of England's loudest bands. If you do lots of different stuff in your career, people always ask you which you like best, and my default answer had always been all of it. Until about 8 years ago. Spinal Tap that year played Glastonbury Festival and Wembley Arena in London. And I did a gig of political music with a band I assembled called the High Value Detainees, who appeared in orange jumpsuits for the occasion. And when I look back in August, and everything I'd done that year except for the yellow people on TV had involved music, I realized I had never had 8 happier months. Now I'm involved, among other things, with the Tipitinas Foundation, which is doing the important work of getting musical instruments into the schools in New Orleans. I only wish they could do that work everywhere. Recently, the LA Times reported that hundreds, if not thousands, of musical instruments from the schools were sitting unrepaired in the district's basement. At the same time, the same district spent $1 billion giving every kid an iPad, which they then had to immediately take back because the first thing the kids did was break the parental lock and watch porn on their iPads. The lesson I take is tubas may be heavy and hard to play, but tubos don't need a parental lock. I'm also involved, through the legal action Paul mentioned, in work with organizations internationally of creators of music as well as film to assert the rights of the talent to fair compensation. Our problem as the talent is that a good number of us would do this stuff for free, and the man knows it. Rectifying that lack of leverage is a big lift. And if Tom Brokaw were here with us tonight, he couldn't even pronounce that sentence. A few years back, I took my godson to see the Rebirth Brass Band's Tuesday night gig at the Maple Leaf Bar in my hometown, New Orleans. He's, yeah, you're right. A suburban white kid, he had grown up in a world where musical sounds came out of computers. I watched his eyes grow big as wide as kick drums when he saw 9 guys with horns drive a college-age crowd wild with ecstatic excitement. That's the experience we need to keep sharing for listeners. And for future players, we need to share 2 key pieces of hidden knowledge. One, when you play with other people and it clicks, you go to a very special place. And it's not the dressing room. And it's not the dressing room that looks like a Cuban toilet. And 2, when you finally get a good instrument, suddenly, as if by magic, you become a halfway decent player. Thank you once again. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if the people from the National Music Council website are here, my last name is spelled S-H-E-A-R-E-R. Thank you.
Here we go. It was broken, but my dream
Roscoe Gayle, Paul Shaffer, Harry Shearer, Tony Shanahan, Joe Lamond, thank you all to our presenters and performers and honorees.
The name for it, so we call it Melody Without Name. Melody Without Name. It's all about the melody. Man. I'm going to bring it down. Put the spotlight on the everybody's name.
Unser Band heißt Band Without
Australia. All right. And Lester. Where's Lester? There's Lester. Lester Twins. All right. They came all the way from Melbourne, man. My good friends from down under, man. That's a long trip, you know. I tell you, man, we had so much fun here tonight, and we're gonna just keep the party going tomorrow.